I would first like to congratulate the entire team from Sambhav, Kadam and Sim family, because they have made something possible, which was just an idea maybe 6 months or a year back. So it has been a phenomenal job on the part of both the parties involved here, who have been able to come out with this kind of a course and make it possible. Now, as I present this particular presentation, I'd like to highlight a couple of things, both for the participants as well as the members we have here. Uh, First thing, that this entire program, I think it had to be made a lot practical when we started with things, because like I said, we are starting with set of individuals or participants who have very rich experience from the kind of industry which the corporate world might not particularly understand. At the same time, your experience is very valuable. I think this kind of experience is something which we can't even imagine when we work in the corporate industry. So the first idea that we brought here was that we need to have a very fine balance, and we need to fuse practical knowledge along with a lot of concepts and theories, which might be very useful for you when you begin with your corporate career. So the core idea, that is how we brought up with the idea of bringing three lines of management education, which is finance, and then HR and operations, which would be of use to you. The second point that I would like to highlight here is that each of you participants, you would have to work through this entire course very hands-on. And when I talk about that, that means that you'll have to approach it with a lot of discipline in terms of completing that course and how you want to go about it. So there would be a lot of commitment that would be required from the participants in particular, and you'll have to really probe the faculty members here in order to get the best out of it. So these were the two things that I wanted to highlight. Now, how we have structured this course, and I can say this with a lot of experience myself, that there has been a lot of thought process involved here, both from the side of Sambhav Kadam as well as the academic faculty involved here. And so we have tried to bring in a sort of staged process where we had a limited time period of just 3 months, but we have to give you the maximum in terms of output. So there are three stages to this course. While stage one is something which would almost cover the first 2 months of the 3-month course here. Stage two would be something which we would be helping you with upskilling in terms of tools that you need in the industry. And finally, there would be stage three, where there would be case study based lectures. When I talk about stage one, this starts from today itself. So as soon as you get your Coursera logins, your credentials, this exercise would roll and the stage one kicks into place. Now, how we have sort of simplified this for you is that when I talk about Coursera, it is an entirely very large universe. You have thousands of courses there, and you are bound to get very confused when you talk about taking a couple of courses. So I think this was a very good input from both the participants as well as Vinay sir and all the people involved here, that we should sort of bring out very standardized course which help you with understanding the basic concepts and give you the best courses in that terms. So we have sort of shortlisted some 6 to 7 courses, and right from the day one, that is today, you have to begin your journey in terms of enrolling in these courses and start the learning process from your end. Now, how Saintgits and the faculty is going to aid you here is that end of each week and the first week beginning with the first weekend after this one, we will have some doubt clearing and brainstorming sessions, which would be a 1 hour session for each line. So there will be 1 hour for the finance line, 1 hour for the HR group, and 1 hour for the operations group. So you can really get into the courses from today itself, enroll for it, and start with the courses. And as and when you have any sort of doubts, you can either post it in the Flock platform, which has been provided to each one of you, or you can keep them with you. And when we have these 1 hour courses, you can pose those questions or maybe ask it directly to the faculty. Now, how this helps is that as you simultaneously go with the course and you go on sort of clearing your doubts, this would sort of build the foundation that you need in all these subjects that we are talking about. So there are 3 subjects once again that we are talking about: finance for managers, human resource management, and supply chain operations. You have to begin with the enrollment and learning process by today or tomorrow itself, and then you'll get each weekend you get to interact with the faculty members of these particular courses, and you get 1 hour exclusively to discuss your problems or whatever doubts you have regarding this subject. Now, these are foundational courses, which means that Coursera being the provider of this particular course, there would be a lot of content which would be international in nature. So these are not domestic courses. These are from global universities. So we would also try and bring it down to the domestic ecosystem and how that really works in the Indian context. So like I said, the stage one of this course starts from today itself, and this rolls on for the next 2 months for you. And end of each week for the next 8 weeks, we the faculty member from SIM would be available to you for any sort of doubt clearing or any sort of confusion that you have regarding any concept or any of these subjects that we are talking about here. Now, like I said, out of the 3 months, 2 months of the entire course is you being immersed in these foundational courses and getting the basic learnings that you want from here. Now, once you're already into it, that's when we really want to bring in the stage 2 of the course. And the stage 2 of the course is purely making you very, very hands-on with the tools which are most prevalently used in the industry. So I would say these are the kind of weapons that we use in the corporate world. The first one is MS Excel or the Microsoft Excel. This is a very, very basic database management tool where you get to know how to manage data, how to extract the best amount of any sort of insight or any sort of knowledge out of data. So once the second month of this course kicks in, which is after February 26th, we from our end, the SIM institution, would be bringing in some experts who would giving you hands-on knowledge into MS Excel first, so that you at least have the knowledge of managing data. I'm sure some of you might be already aware, but we want to bring you, upskill you on this particular, I would say, tool, because this is something which is now very, very prevalent in the industry. So as veterans, as people who are joining the corporate world, we want all of you to be on the same platform as far as using the MS Excel is concerned. And the second repackaging for industry package is concerned, we want to help you with the resume redesigning for each of the candidates here. Now, this was a very, very popular demand. I think some of the very early webinars which I was able to attend with Captain Vinay here, some of the participants were very, very forthcoming and told us that you should involve some kind of structure where we are able to design and write our own CVs or the curriculum vitae. So this was a very, very early insight that we got from the participants. And so we want you to be able to write your own stories. I think each one of you here has a very, very rich experience and background. There's no doubt about it. But we also want you to be able to not depend on anybody else for this particular purpose, so that you can write the best in terms of your profiles on papers and produce a curriculum vitae or a CV for the industry. Now, these particular two repackaging schemes, this would kick in after February 26th of the second month. We would be doing this entire thing in a span of 5 to 6 hours, or maybe at the top 7 hours, where you would be given these particular two skill sets or the tools that you need while you enter the corporate arena. And finally, we have stage 3, which is the case study-based lecture. Now, 2 months of this entire program, you are going through foundational courses on Coursera. I think there are some doubts, some 8 to 10 hours of doubt clearing that you are getting with the faculty. But like I said, when we started with designing this course, we were quite clear that we cannot just stick to the theory part of education. Like I said, with all the kind of experience that you have, it would not make any sense at all if you are not able to give you a hands-on approach on how the corporate entities work. And which is why I think it is very, very important that we have a case study based lecture approach, so that you get to know where are all the concepts that we are talking about being implemented in the industry today. So this begins in the month 3 of the program, and we will have exclusive 9 to 10 hours of lectures spanning 9 to 10 hours, and these would be 3 to 4 sessions, and we will at least have 3 to 4 case studies on each of the lines. So finance would have 3 case studies, HR would have 3 case studies, and supply chain would have at least 3 case studies, where you get to implement the concepts, you get to implement whatever you have learned in the foundational courses, and finally get a very, very hands-on approach on how corporates work. Like I said, this would be a mix of global and both domestic business scenarios, because we want you to be exposed to both kind of corporate exposure that we're talking about. So I think apart from this, all the details, there would be a weekly update that we'll be taking from you. And like I said, we would be very much available to you on Flock. So if any of you has any sort of doubt out of nowhere, and it's very simple, it's something very, very small. The platform Flock is available to all of you. So I think your first line of action should be putting all your doubts on Flock itself, so that if not, it is not urgent, we can address them together through the week on the weekend. But if it is something very, very urgent, I think putting it on the Flock, and they could be very, very approachable even for the faculty members to take a look at and sort of get over with that kind of a doubt. So this was the curriculum part from my end. And I think we look forward to a very, very interesting journey, especially for the first batch.